My name is Jason Thomas. I'm Executive Area Director at MWR Financial. And tonight we're going to be sharing some information like none other. I personally have witnessed changes in my mindset and in my finances. You shift your mind, you shift your income. And tonight we're going to be sharing with you some information a lot of people don't talk about, schools haven't taught, and basically we just don't know this information. But it's not going to be me alone. Tonight we get the privilege and the honor to meet and share the stage with none other than my personal mentor and my battle buddy in this ministry and this movement, Mr. Clovel Oliphant. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who Mr. Oliphant is, I call him the modern day Rockefeller because he is literally leaving a legacy and planting seeds in places that are going to sprout and build trees for his entire generations. So, he's already positioned himself really well in this organization. Oh my gosh, he loves sharing this information. He has a fun time sharing it. He's very passionate about it. I mean, his children I know if I was one of his children, I would be thanking him for everything he's doing for them right now. But with no further ado, I'd like to welcome and to present to others Mr. Clovel Oliphant. Sir.
Awesome, Jason. I appreciate the introduction. At first, I didn't know who you was talking about, but till you said my name. But I appreciate you giving me the accolades. But shout out to you as well, man. You're doing some amazing things, and I couldn't ask for a better partner. And Mr. Irie, I couldn't ask for a better financial mentor as well. So with that said, let's share this information and let's change some lives.
Awesome. We're gonna go right into it. I want to make sure I'm pulling up the right slideshow. All right. So we're going right into it. Welcome everybody. Tonight, like I said, you're gonna hear some information that's not quite talked about. It's the information that wealthy people share across their dinner tables, but yet most of us just don't know. So, starting off, it's important. We all need to understand this quad chart right here. We need to understand it because it's not about how much money you make. If you've been taught that, you've been taught a little bit shaded, a little bit slighted, but it's how you make your money that really matters. Now, see, on the left side, you have the active linear income, but on the right side, you have passive residual income. The difference is that passive residual income keeps coming in without you having to do all of the work. So look, basically, I would rather earn 1% off 100 people's efforts rather than 100% off of my own efforts. That's Jay Paul. He said that. But as an employee, this is where most of us have lived most of our lives or have come to know the workforce and income. As an employee, 100% of your efforts equals your income.
Get off,
Basically, if you have a job, your
Winifred.
time is equal to the money that you make. All right. So look, your job equals how much you get paid. The time that you put in equals the dollars. You're trading time for dollars. There's no leverage with that. So 100% of your time and efforts go into 100% of your pay. But say you own a job, you're a self-employed professional. This just means that you own a job. If you still do not show up to go to work, you still do not get paid. Yeah, you may have some employees, a few, and you may have a little bit of leverage, but your time still equals dollars. You're still trading hours for dollars each and every day, and you're starting over every day. But Clovel, we want to be on the right side. So tell us about the right side.
Absolutely, Jason. Yeah, I definitely, and most Americans want to be on the right side because that's where your business owners and your investors are. So let's start with the business owners. You own a system or a network, and people equals money, and that equals also a lot, huge leverage. Okay, and then when you move to the money works for you, and then your portfolio income and income not depending on your presence. So in other words, you're making money and you're not there. I like to use the analogy of leverage. For example, what you're trying to do in life, your business, or what you're trying to do is a couch. And you're trying to take that couch, you by yourself, up to the 25th floor, and you're on the first floor. Would you rather have a group of people, entity helping you take that couch up there to the 25th floor, or would you rather do that by yourself? For me, Jason, it's a no-brainer. What you think?
I think I want to take it up with a group of people.
Absolutely. So that's why you want to be on this side of the quadrant. Moving into the investor, your income is not dependent on your presence. So you could be playing golf on a Tuesday afternoon and your money is making money for you.
So it's important to understand that, when your money's making money for you, it's compounding, it's rolling. See, this is what I like to say. I like to say this. When you put money on assignment, it does exactly what you tell it. It doesn't take sick days. It doesn't take holidays. It's not off on the weekends. Your money constantly does what you tell it to do. See, on a 9 to 5, you have people that call in sick. You have children that may need to be taken care of. You have different things that go on. But when you put your money on assignment for my military people, it goes and does what you tell it to do. So the business and investor side, that's the side you want to be on. But that investor is the one that gets taxed the least and gets paid the most. So moving forward, I want you to understand this. We can all become wealthy, but over time, there's been a great divide. See, you have to understand, you have to play by the rules of the game, or you're going to get played by the rules of the game. See, we're the wealthiest country in the world. We have over 18.6 of the world's millionaires living right here in the United States. But on the other side of that coin, we also have 34 million Americans living in poverty. See, ladies and gentlemen, these are statistics that most people don't talk about. We have many households with less than $27,000 as an annual income. This is what I also want you to understand. During this COVID era, we have over 10 million Americans that are currently unemployed. We still had 788 billionaires in the United States. How does a country have both billionaires and millionaires and making over 25% of the world's wealth, but still have 10 million Americans that are unemployed? Now let's talk about this education. You know, the former outdated education is what most of us has grown up to. You go to school, you get good grades, you graduate from high school, you go to college, and you make good grades there just to get a good job, so that you can get a good pay and then retire. But most of the times, what is not being taught is all those expenses that are attached to that great education that you had to pay for or that you got loans for. See, most people that end out of that they graduate from college, they don't just walk away with a diploma, but they walk away with a debt. You have to also understand that it's not the traditional education that's what you need these days. Specialized financial education is what's going to take you further. Because look, specialized financial education, it shows you how to shift your money back into your pocket, which equals wealth. So you have to understand there's two different sides of the coin that we're talking about: the haves and the have-nots. Most people think the haves and the have-nots mean the rich or poor. But what does that mean, Clovel?
No, the haves and the have-nots mean either you're going to be on the right side of capitalism or you're going to be on the left side. So on the left side, you have a W-2 tax code, which is an employee. And then on the right side, you have a business owner, which is a tax code of 1099. Well, on the left side, you have a stimulus check and only $600 to $2,000. That's not enough money to live on per month for the average American. I think everybody would agree with that. But on the right side, they get loans. So over 194 billion are mostly going to be forgiven. So then you go over to the other side, Jason, and you got IRA contributions, and look at that. That's a huge disparity. The max IRA, which is 13,500 to 16,500. See the big difference? That's the difference. So you want to be on the right side and be a home-based business owner. And this one, you pay taxes first. So in other words, the taxes come right off the top. You never even see it. So you think you're getting $100,000. You signed up when you took the job for $100,000, but it ain't $100,000 because it's taxed 28 to 33% right off the top. And then you go over to the other side. This is where you want to be again, and you pay taxes last, and it's 18% to 23%. That's what we call your net effect. The way our system is set up, it basically takes care of business owners first. So that's where you want to be, Jason.
Right, Jalen and Kiana. Basically, you got to understand that wealth resides with the business owner. So you have to understand business owners get the most benefits. Basically, what Clovel just share with us in a nutshell is that the government thrives off of business owners because they're the ones that's flooding the economy. They're the ones that's making the jobs for the employees. So you have to understand that, and that's why our tax laws favor those that have businesses. The reason why we're not wealthy and all of this wraps up into is because we have four roadblocks that keep us from becoming wealthy. Now, Clovel, explain to us these four roadblocks, please, sir.
Absolutely, Jason. So most people don't realize they think that their largest expense, they think their largest expense is their wife, their car, their mortgage, even their children's education. But in all actuality, your number one expense is your taxes. There's over 80 different types of taxes for numerous different things. Okay, you got state taxes, you got federal taxes, you got luxury taxes, and then some people even try to work under the table, Jason, where they don't get any taxes taken out, but they still get you with the sales taxes, and then they get you with the state taxes and the gas prices, taxes, all different needs, all numerous amount of taxes. So that's your number one largest expense, and that's the number one roadblock. And once that happens, okay, so let's use this example as well. So you get taxed first, like we stated before. So right off the top, you get taxed. So you think you signed up for $100,000 job, but you really getting 33% less than that. So to make up the difference, what you do is you move to the next roadblock, which is your second largest expense, and that's debt. So you try to match your debt by taking out loans, all these different kinds of loans, a mortgage loan, you take out a student loan, you take out a car loan, you take out credit card loans, all these different loans to try to make up the difference to make get back up to that $100,000, Jason. And then here come big business. Big business is your third largest expense, and they're always in your pockets. There's a spending event every month. We just left Labor Day yesterday. So, and then right after that, it's one of the largest spending events in October, which is Halloween.
Halloween.
And some businesses just for Halloween, they make enough money that it lasts them the entire year. They just open that one shop for Halloween and then they close it, and then they made them enough money for the whole year. And then right after that, we got Thanksgiving, and we're not even going to talk about all the other holidays like graduation, Jason, weddings, anniversaries, you got proms, you got something that I just found out about is gender reveal. Okay. You have parties for gender reveals and all that type of stuff. So, and then here comes the fourth roadblock up the rear, and that's inflation. And we call that the silent income killer because they get you one little piece at a time, and that causes your dollar to lose value. There you go,
Correct.
Jason.
So it's important for us to understand that all of us have to face these challenges. No matter what socioeconomic background you come from, no matter where you live, we all face these challenges. And with taxes, what we have to understand, Clovel, is that taxes and debt, basically, they're like the brother and sister. The government and the banks work hand in hand. See, the government takes it off the top, where the banks takes the debt off the bottom. So, and in the middle, you have big business coming in and taking their final third out, and that inflation. Today, today actually, ladies and gentlemen, I actually seen someone post chicken. I think it was like chicken thighs, $17 for one pack. That used to be $3 to $5 to $8 maybe, but $17 for a pack of Tyson chicken, and that shows you what inflation does. I've seen another post where it had bacon, where bacon was at $3, and now it's at $9, $8 and $9 for a pack. That's inflation. The cost of goods and services is rising, but your paycheck's staying the same. And if you cannot find anything to knock out these four roadblocks or minimize their effects, then your money gets constantly eaten up. So that's what we want to talk about and share with you. We needed you to understand, and what Clovel is explaining and exposing is how people stay in bondage because we don't understand how money works and the entities that are taking it from us. But Clovel, we're not going to talk about doom and gloom all day. We do have a solution, right, sir?
We sure do. And that solution You have it already, and you're just not using it. Uh, you have an apartment, you got a social security number, and the solution to all four roadblocks. Okay, so let's start with the tax advantages first, Jason. And first of all, we get an instant pay raise, and that's simply adjusting your W-4 to read correctly, and then adjusting it, and then you get difference, and then that becomes your instant pay raise. And then your expenses become your deductions. That's what we call your anyway. You're gonna have a cell phone anyway. You're gonna purchase gas for your car anyway. You're gonna drive anyway. You're gonna have maintenance on that car anyway. You're gonna have internet anyway. So those expenses become deductions as well. And then the one I like too, Jason, is when you get to hire your kids instead of you put them on payroll versus giving them allowance. I grew up on allowance like most Americans, and it just makes business sense to put them on payroll because you're going to give them the money again anyway, right, Jason? So that demonstrates entrepreneurship, and I believe every American have that entrepreneurial spirit within them. We just don't know it. And then most importantly, also, Jason, is you want to leave a legacy. And what I like to say is break the economical financial curse. Okay, because again, you give generations a head start. And what I like to say too, Jason, is by giving them a head start, we're used to most Americans are used to leaving a legacy of debt instead of a legacy of wealth. So with that, so on the other side, we got unlimited income, Jason, and that's get paid residually, daily, weekly, and monthly, and quarterly. And then your time freedom, you take your business and it goes everywhere you go. I think taking your business everywhere it goes, you can work from home, you can be on vacation, you can be across the country, you could be visiting family. And like I remember Mr. Ivory told us one time, he don't have no return time destination. So he could go to Texas on vacation and he ain't got to rush to come back to Georgia, which I think is phenomenal. And he can still conduct business, Jason. And I think that's phenomenal. You could be on a cruise ship, you could be in the Bahamas, anywhere, still conducting this business. And then you take control and you choose the opportunity over security, and you play by the rules of the wealthy. And again, I want to speak on the rules of the wealthy. We wasn't taught this stuff we don't talk about this at our dinner tables. That's not how I grew up. So I think it's phenomenal where we in an organization, we have the solution, and we have experts that work with us, and the leadership is phenomenal, Jason.
He's right. You know, Brian, Nikwa, basically leaving a legacy to your children. I mean, when you put up that uniform, you cannot take that uniform and put it on your child and expect your children to basically have something working for them. No, you have to have a business. You have to have assets that's working for them, working for you, so then you can turn over and give it to them. See, Frank, with unlimited income, we control how much we get paid. We don't have someone basically we don't work a job that caps how much we can make with a salary. You know, see, business as a business owner, business owners tell the employees how much they can make. You know, being in the military, there's a certain limit to how much I can make. But with a home-based business, as a business owner, I can control how much I get paid, how much deductions I take, and all of that. See, it's all in the power of your own hand, which gives you that control and gives you that time freedom. See, when you don't have to ask your boss, let me see the eyeballs on this one. When you don't have to ask your boss because you are the boss, when you can take a vacation, when you don't have to ask your boss for sick days, but you take sick days when you want to take sick days, you have complete control over your life. You know, you control how much the ebb and flow goes. You control how much dollars you make and where you spend your money versus having someone tell you how you can spend your money and when you can spend it because they control your time schedule. So that's important to understand that your home-based business is your number one asset because it knocks out all four roadblocks. All four roadblocks. So most people don't know this, but the IRS really does put this information in plain sight. Right here on the IRS.gov website, it tells us that if you got a big refund, you need to do a paycheck checkup. Ain't that right, Clovel?
That's right. That's right. And it's your money anyway. And for $4 a day, You get the tax deduction strategy from Making Wealth Real. It is phenomenal. And don't believe us, let Uncle Sam tell you. And it's right there in plain sight, like Jason said.
Right. Most taxpayers receive refunds averaging around $2,800. So if you received a large refund, that's a hint that you are overpaying the government. You know, most people don't look at their tax return, their tax refund, but just to the right of it, just to the right of it, to the left of it, it says this is how much you overpaid the government. Now, I personally do not want to overpay on anything, and I would advise you and encourage you not to do it as well. So I would say don't overpay the government. Get your money up front. And the government allows us to do that with these tax deductions. See, it tells us that business owners are going to stimulate the economy by creating more jobs, by putting more out there, by using their expenses and turning those into deductions. Someone had a question. Jalen, you had a question? What's your question, sir? Come off
Uh,
mute.
so on the last slide for you have the solution. What is the equation you guys have at the top? It says home slash apartment, and then yeah, your is that your social?
Yeah,
Your
your
it's
social security number.
okay, is a solution to all four roadblocks. What do you mean your social security number is a solution to all four roadblocks? Is that what you were just getting into?
Right. So what we're saying is your social security number. See, in America, everybody was born a business owner. We all
Okay.
have a social security number. Every American has a social security number. When you partner that up with a home, a place that you rent, or a mortgage, wherever you sleep at, now you've become a home-based business owner. And as a home-based business owner, now you get privy to the 475 different tax deductions that you can take. Now your lifestyle becomes the assets that fuel your wealth and your own economic structure. See,
Okay.
you can write off your cell phone now. See, say like this. If you have a home-based business, Jalen, and I do not, but we both eat out, you can
Okay.
write off your meals 100%. You can write off 100% of your meals eating outside of the home, but I can't. We're both going to eat it. Say we're both going to eat at Chili's today. Both our meals cost $20. Well, you just got a write off for $20, and I did not. Say
Okay.
you're driving down the road, you get to write off 56 cents a mile, but I do not because I do not have a home-based business. So you see how much more empowered that you are than I am without having a home-based business?
All right. And then on my other follow-up question is, are you gonna go over the W-4?
So yeah, I could go over to W4. Matter of
I'm
fact,
not
let
trying to
me.
get ahead of myself. I'm
No, you're
sorry.
not. Hey, this is what we do. We educate. So this is awesome. This
So
one.
I'm gonna mute myself. My cat is going crazy.
So right here, when you look, and this is a 2019 version because this is one of the simplest ones to read. The 2021 is a little wonky, so I use this one to explain. But the W4, on the W4 form or the form W4, it actually tells you to the left. It says complete form W4 so that your employer can withhold the correct federal income tax. See, most people think that the government tells them how much to withhold. No, you tell your employer how much to take out of your check and report to the IRS. See, you got to consider completing this form every year and when every time your financial or personal situation changes. See, most of us Americans have not changed our W-4 since the first day we joined a job. Most of us don't even remember when the last time we adjusted our W-4. Most of us don't even remember what a W-4 form looks like. And I actually have a W-4 form if you would like to see that. All right, so let me start the slide share. All right, so again, the government actually tells us that 80% of Americans have actually overpaid in taxes, which means 101 million people got refunds. So if you got a refund, you overpaid. The average refund was $2,000. So this is back in 2005. So think about that. It is back in 2005. We're in 2021, about to go into 22. So this number is probably much larger. But the government tells us if you use this as a forced savings, like we said earlier, you might want to put your money into a savings account or try paying off debt quicker because that is more advantageous to you. So our W4 form, this is what it looks like. Here's a blow up version of it. So basically, everybody on the line, if you really want to see just a quick synopsis of what your W4 should have looked like, I would say let's go through it real quick. I'm not going to stay too long because there's so much more information we could share. But I would say always get back with the person that invited you, and they will break it down even further. What's
Now
the difference?
for column D and E, what if you, well, not so much as D, for E, what if you don't have any kids? What would you put there? You just put a
You
zero?
just put zero. Yeah, you just
Okay,
put
okay,
zero.
okay.
Right. But most people file single zero, and they get taxed the most, and they're the ones getting the refunds. But we don't want you to get a refund. We want you to get your money up front and then get a huge rebate at the end of the year. And I'm gonna
Okay.
continue with this slide, then I'm gonna go back. See, these are all the different type of tax deductions that we're talking about. This is not even all of them. See, right here, you can write off the whole price of your vehicle. You can write off the actual car expenses. We talking depreciation, gas, oil, tolls, parking, repairs. We even talking about you being able to write off uh you hiring your children if you have children. Now, Jalen, I know you don't have children. Nikwa, I know you do. You have one child, and I know teenagers eat a lot. So you can write off up to $12,550 this year. See, the government says you can write up to the standard deduction for every child that you have
Okay,
if
okay.
they're working your business.
All right, now I'm getting it. Okay, it's coming together.
Awesome, awesome. So you see how having a home-based business puts you in a whole new tax bracket, a whole new tax category to where you're making wealth off the money you already have and the
A whole new
expenses you already
financial
take.
world.
Say again?
Yeah, it's a whole new financial world
Oh,
essentially.
most definitely, sir. So we just talked a lot about taxes. Let's move forward and tell you what one company making this all happen. And that's NWR, right? Mr. Oliphant, NWR
Absolutely.
Financial.
We're the only financial company, and we're going to be brand recognized, just like Q-Tips is the cotton swabs. We are the largest and the fastest and the only. And when you're the largest, fastest, and first, then your name becomes synonymous with your industry. And it's the same with Pampers. We are history in the making, Jason.
Awesome, awesome. See, it's important to understand that brand names are synonymous with wealth. And once you put your name out there and you stamp that industry, you become known in every household. And NWR Financial will become known in every household. Awesome. So we call ourselves NWR at home. This is the home-based business. $228 one time, $119 a month. And this gives you access to all the experts. See, you have a team of financial experts that are able to take your finances from A to Z and then some. You have over 476 tax deductions that you become available to, 4 avenues of income, and a six-figure playbook. Talk to us about that six-figure playbook.
Okay, we call it three up and three down, Jason, or three down and three up, however you want to look at it. But basically, the taxes and debt and expenses, that's going to reduce your stress level, of course, right? And then your cash flow and income and credit scores up. That's going to put you in an area of abundance. That's how it goes, Jason.
Awesome. So I always say facts tell and stories sell. So here we have a few stories right here. You have two lovely ladies who have received instant pay raises. You have Lamisha Green, who basically uploaded her documents, which we'll talk about later, and the experts was able to give her a $300 instant pay raise. You have Emma Garcia. She was able to do the same thing with our experts, and they gave her a $265 pay raise on her job. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about money that's coming back into their checks. And they see this, as you can see, a breakdown every 2 weeks. You have to understand if you get your money up front, you can do more with your money. So when you talk about finances, you can't talk about finances, only talk about the money aspect. You have to talk about credit because credit determines how much you pay for money. And here we have none other than Mr. Ivory's granddaughter. She went from a 356 credit score all the way up to a 763 at the age of 19. And here we have our very own Clovel Oliphant, who went from a 688 all the way up to an 822. You know, I believe he actually said he was an 825. Is that correct, Mr. Oliphant?
As of today, I am at 825. That's correct, Jason.
825. And look, it's a family affair, like I said. We have both Dante and Essence. Now, Dante went from a 671 and he's at a 781. And then we have Essence, who went from a 4. Yes, a 4 to a 787. You see, we're talking about a real financial makeover. We're talking about taking credit scores up and making taxes go down, putting that money back into your pocket. We got Derek, who's a retired sergeant major, had an amazing job on the GS side, has a millionaire date and a debt-free date. Ladies and gentlemen, you get a debt-free date and a millionaire date with our company. Yes, MWR experts go in and show you how to become a millionaire. And this is no sleight of hand. His millionaire date is 2039. That's not too far around the corner. And then you have Jasmine Ray. Jasmine is actually his daughter, 27-year-old young lady who got rid of $30,000 in debt worth of student loans with our experts, and which took her credit score all the way up to an 804. Can you say win-win? And lastly, but not least, you have $89,000 from Mr. Toby Price. Also, believe it or not, a military active duty service member. You got to give it up for the active duty service members that's in our organization. It took 17 student loans down to zero through our experts. And then again, we have none other than Mr. Oliphant, who saved and shaved over $984 within our Bill Shredder program. So, this complete financial makeover is awesome. What I really want to share with you right now is how we make money. We have a daily guarantee, anywhere from $20, $30 to $50, all the way up to $1,000. What you're looking at right now is our national director, Mr. Brian M. Bean, making $500 a day. Ladies and gentlemen, any one of these will change your life. $600 put into your household. Forbes has stated that a $600 advantage on their income, if somebody had $600 coming into their house, that would keep them from poverty. That would keep them from going bankrupt. Most people have lost their homes over a $500 deficit. Ain't that right, Clovel?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we want to talk about this slide real quick, Jason, as well. You will not know where 95% of your daily pay comes from. That's a quote, direct quote from Brian Bean, and that is amazing. That's the expansion bonus. And as you can see, when he first started, everybody was making fun of Brian. He started off, he made $28, 28 for October of 2019. And then you see how quickly it shot up to $1,300. And this is per day.
Yeah, so we have to understand that, the power of leverage. We talked about it in our first slide, how you have people working together, which equals more money, more pay, but also equals leverage efforts working in tandem for you. So by Mr. Bryan basically going through our pay chart with just this bonus alone, he's been able to turn $228, which you saw beforehand, into $228,000. Ain't that right, Clovel?
Absolutely. So the four methods of compensation, Jason, is you got your daily guarantee, you got your bonuses, and you got your residual. And then my favorite is profit sharing. And I know we're going to come back to the bonuses, the luxury bonus, but I want to hit on profit sharing. I do not know of a company, Jason, that is willing or actually sharing their profits with their associates. If you can name me one, I'll be appreciative and I'd love to hear it. But then we're going to jump back up to our customers. You can make $40 per customer, and then if you have 3 customers, then your financial edge is free, and that's amazing. And then your sponsorship bonus, that's your commission, and that's $50 per person. And I know, Jason, you're ready to jump all over these last 2.
Right. So we're talking about a presidential bonus that goes from $500 to $100,000 a month. See, this is our make strategy. It's everything we do generates different streams of income just right here with MWR Financial. So maybe $100,000 a month is too far fetched. Well, would an extra $500, $1,000, or $2,500 be worth you putting forth a little bit of effort to build a legacy for your family? What about a luxury vehicle bonus? I've seen a lot of people buying a lot of new cars recently. Our tiers go from $500 to $1,250 to $3,000 per month. Mr. Ivory has been able to take his $3,000 per month and he purchased a vehicle, and now the company pays for his vehicle. But we also have Mr. Brian Bean.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Brian, of course, he's getting tier 3 and he's getting $3,000 per month, and he loves vintage cars. And he is so smart about what he's doing. All his cars, he owns the titles and he puts them in shows. They bring him more money. So I think that's so smart. It is ridiculous.
So what's also amazing about Mr. Bean is that he's used that $3,000 with NWR Financial and flipped it to where now he owns 20 acres. Let me get to the eyeballs. He owns 20 acres in Atlanta where his neighbors are Cam Newton to the right, Ludacris to the left, and Denzel Washington's son to the front. So he's literally surrounded by success. See, when you are able to flip your own money because you have more of it, you're able to do more with it. And that's where we want to be. We have a $10 million residual ring club earners within our company. One being our national director, Mr. Brian M. Bean himself. Two being Cash Flow Christie. She is the highest paid female in the entire organization. And she actually designed the ring. If you look to the right, she actually designed that ring. It got more diamonds than the male's ring, but we're not going to hold it against it. And then you have Mr. Charles Ivory. We call him the Waymaker. He's our regional director. He is the $5 million residual ring earner in the entire company. And you also have Shayna Rollins. All of them are in Extra Digit Movement. We are a part of the Extra Digit Movement, which, like Clovel said earlier, the fastest building organization, the most wealthiest organization, the most testimonies in our organization. This is the team comprised of a lot of different entrepreneurs, soldiers, uh, family members, single parents, all of that. Whatever walk of life you're talking about, we have it in our organization. And one thing is very true with all of us. We are all building wealth together. There's not one person in our organization does not want you to succeed. See, in our organization, we believe you become in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So, Clovel, we talked a lot about the make. Let's talk about the bread and butter of our organization in the Financial Edge membership, the cash flow. This is what we need to stress.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about the save portion, Jason. But before I go any further, I just need to reiterate, we are going to help you get that economic couch to the 25th floor, and we're going to do it together. For $79 a month, you have access to all the experts. Now, let me stop right there real quick. So most wealthy people, they have a team of experts around them, helping them make some economic decisions and purchases. So they ain't got to do it all themselves. And that's what you have with MWR Financial. Okay, so we got tax reduction, bill negotiation, debt elimination, credit restoration, self-banking, land banking, and real estate. So with the self-banking, basically that's where you become your own bank. And an example of that is if you have $80,000 in the bank and you pull 40,000 out and still get no less than 8%. So you're getting 8% on your 80, even though you pull 40 out to purchase a car, do a home improvement, or fund college education. I think that's phenomenal. And land banking, that's when you purchase land in the path of growth for wholesale and then flip it and turn it and sell it for retail. And then our real estate program is totally off the chart and second to none, where you can flip, sell, and invest and buy real estate.
Right. So, like Clovel said, he talked about the grow, but let's talk a little bit about the save. This is where you save more money, the tax reduction strategy. So, you stop overpayment. That's the instant pay raise. All you have to do is upload your last two pay stubs and your last year's tax return, and our experts will get you that $300, that $265 that Emma got, or whatever is your number. They're gonna put that back into your paycheck. Basically, I've seen people get from $800 to $1,000 back over the course of a month because that's just how much they were overpaying the government. We're going to reduce your taxes by giving you those tax deductions. And with our strategy number two, we have a hurdler app. The app basically tracks all of your expenses for you to where you get all of those deductions at the end of the year. And lastly, we're going to look at your last 3 years tax returns, find any money you left on the table, and then find out if there's any debt that you owe that needs to be paid. Our experts do all of this. This part of the membership is worth $79 by itself, but you get this too. We also have credit restoration. This is where you upload your 3 credit reports from the 3 credit bureaus, and the experts go in and they do all the work. They fight the creditors and get all that stuff off that's not supposed to be on your report. Believe it or not, the creditors do put stuff that's not supposed to be on your report. There's stuff that gets crossed and misconstrued But our experts go in there and they're able to raise your credit score like Jasmine, who's at an 804, or like taking Essence from a 4 all the way up to the high 700s. This is amazing. We also have credit rebuilding. So say you need to rebuild your credit. Say you purchased a house and it went down. We have credit rebuilding right here in our wheelhouse. And then say that you just need more help with how to manage your credit. We have credit counseling. Moving forward, we have debt elimination. We've seen people, all they do is upload their debt into the system, whether it's student loans, credit card loans, home loans, you name it. If it's debt, you put in the interest, you put in your creditors, and our experts are going to give you a quick way to pay it off faster than what your creditors had you at. We've seen like Mr. Ivy, he saved over $300,000 in compound interest with this one strategy alone. And real quick, you get that millionaire date and that debt-free date with this portal right here. But like Mr. Oliphant was saying, Bill Shredder. Most people have never heard of it. I never heard of it. Mr. Oliphant's never heard of it. But you have bills that come every month, for services that you use every month. Wouldn't it be nice to pay lower for those bills so that you have more money to use in the month than you do now? That's what our experts do. On your behalf, they go in and negotiate your bills down. See, anything from internet, TV, phone. I've personally received $70 back off of my phone bill within the past 2 months. We've seen Mr. Oliphant basically save over $984 on average. We've seen anywhere from $1,400 to $1,700 per year saved in bills alone. To me, that's worth the $79 a month. We're going to share some more testimonies and then we're going to wrap this thing up because there's so much information that we've given. I just want you to be able to digest it. But here is one of my former Air Force compadres, Miss Kimberly Whitfield. She's a district director with our company. She experienced an $18,000 pay cut when she moved from one location to another for her job. Now, how many of y'all out there can relate to this? Having to move because your job relocated. That's something we can't control, but she had an $18 pay cut, and she turned that around. And with MWR Financial, she got a $36,000 increase in her pay through our daily guarantee. Just one way that we get paid. She positioned herself to purchase a new home, which she is in right now. Her credit score went from 646 to an 800. And then we have Chuck Harder. Hey, I love this guy because he's a fun, energetic guy. He loves to talk about money. He is a corporate executive, but he's also a district director with MWR Financial. He is only two levels from the top. His credit score went from 750 to an 823. Yes, even if you have good credit, the experts can get you great credit, ladies and gentlemen. The highest you can go is 850. Why not go as high as you can go? He's an owner of a private reserve account, which Clovel talked about. He paid off credit cards and a car, and he's making a lot of money every month. We have Miss Quana Sims. She was a business owner prior to MWR, but she never did network marketing. Paid off 3 credit cards and became debt-free during the pandemic. Her credit score went from 612 to 781. This is what we call cash flow experience and making, saving, and growing with MWR Financial.
Also, too, here we go is Christy Howard. She's a regional director. She's a former bartender. Just like we discussed, she designed the ring for the ladies, and she is phenomenal. And she is always open to helping people elevate and level up as well. So she generated a 5-figure income her first 8 months partnering with the company. She paid off 4 credit cards and a car note, and then her credit score was increased from 624 to 809 as well. And then a first female millionaire residual ring club earner and the first female regional director in the company. And this is phenomenal. And if you think this is something, you should look at our testimonial page, and we'll share that with you at a later date. If you want to know what a power couple look like, Charles and Judith Ivory, this is the epitome of a power couple right here. And I have the fortunate pleasure of literally actually knowing and working with them on a daily basis. They MWR Financial's highest ranking and paid couple. Their credit scores are 805 and 815, which is absolutely phenomenal. And owners of 2 private reserve accounts and land banking parcels. and they making a ton of money as well on a regular, as you can see, Jason. So either you're a 1 or you're a 2. Let me tell you what a 2 is. A number 2 is I want to expand my cash flow for $79. That means you don't really want to make a whole lot of money. You don't want to make money in regards to all the commissions that we spoke about earlier. You just want the financial edge membership, which is fine. But then we have a number 1. A number 1, Jason, is I'm all in. I want to expand my cash flow and earn daily income, and it's 228 one time and 119 a month. And with that said, get with the person that invited you and get you some more information if need be. And y'all have a good evening. This has been phenomenal.